All right, guys, if you're going to enjoy something, you really do got to study it. That's what I encourage you to do. And that's what's different about me. I don't break news for you. I very seldomly have a guest on. But I'm very good at identifying things that perhaps you would miss and then explaining them. You guys like that about me, right? I'm shining my own wheels, but can we admit that's what I do different? There is not a question. I am the smartest guy in MMA. That's a fact. I think we agree on that. But one of those things that you've got to observe is Michael Chandler. Because what's he doing now, guys? What is different about Michael Chandler? Michael Chandler was always really good. Michael Chandler could always close out a show, and he could always be the marquee, and he could always be the main event, and he was always going to be a threat for anybody, and it was always going to be ranked top 3 in the world. All of those things are still true, but they were already true. What is he doing different now? Because Michael Chandler, while having beautiful placement on cards, was not a star. He was really good. And he was respected to the point of being feared by fellow competitors. But he was not sought after by sponsors and promoters, or even by you guys. He could walk down the streets, not going to have to worry about a mob. None of those things are true now. He is absolutely a top 5 biggest star in the sport, the same sport that he's been in for years. As a matter of fact, one thing different when Chandler wasn't over with the audience was his record was a hell of a lot better. So how does a guy with a few more years and a few more scratches, a few more losses, and one hell of a career change? I mean, but are you paying attention to it? Because it's something beautiful. It really is. And Chandler walks a fine line of entertaining, confident, with arrogance. It's a tough one. It's a real tough one. And he just barely falls on the correct side of it. I have watched him in interviews where he is a split hair from losing everybody. But he never does it. He's having fun, and it shows. That's the secret to Daniel Cormier. Some people will tell you Daniel Cormier is the greatest announcer in our sport. He might be. Some people will tell you that. How could that be? Is he using words that the rest of us don't use? Is he wearing an outfit that the rest of us don't wear? How could that be? Daniel Cormier's secret sauce is he shows you that he's having fun. And when the big scary bear has that little playful child inside of him, that's why you love Daniel Cormier. And Chandler had money. He had opportunities. He had main events. He had belts, and he had the scars. But he wasn't having the same amount of fun. He wasn't getting that same amount of attention. And he wanted it. It's important that you know that. He didn't stumble into this. I've seen guys stumble. The Diaz brothers might be the greatest marketers in our history of our sport. They might be. It was on accident. It was unintentional. Chandler's is not. Chandler wanted popularity. It's important that you know that. He has a goal, right? He has a goal. Boom. How am I going to get it? His fights were always exciting, so now he's just got to go out, keep doing that. Stay with the same team, stay with the same coaches, stick with those same strategies, take the hardest guys that you possibly can to get you the biggest placement and the most attention. And what happens after that? Right? It's a 2-man sport. I knew you wanted to hear from him. He knew something with the exposure that he has on this side of the tracks is also going to involve a microphone, and he showed up ready every single time. Now, Chandler did something so simple today, I just don't want you to miss it. He did something so simple today, which is he said that if he beats Conor McGregor, he will then have a title fight. He's not sure at what weight class, 170 or 155, but if you beat Conor, he will get a title fight. Why is that brilliant? Why is that even smart? Why does that even stand out? Doesn't it sound like a bunch of other pricks that did interviews today? Well, no, not so fast. And I'll tell you why it's different, because Conor can have a title shot right now. Michael Bisping touched on this. Conor McGregor can have a title shot right now. The fact that they didn't give him one, we for sure can throw on there. If Conor beats Chandler, he's fighting for a title. We can just for sure throw it on because he will be. So, but now you see why it's important that Chandler does it. Nobody knows if they're getting a title fight, and nobody's in the position to say that they are. Nobody's getting millions of dollars and all these opportunities. Oh, and by the way, you get a title shot. It doesn't work that way. So he's come out and saying he's getting one. Why does it work? Because how are you going to give it to Conor? And we know Conor is. We know Conor could have the title shot right now. Leon doesn't pretend he want to give it to him at 170. Khabib has flat out said, please come and take on Islam down to 155. We know that he can get it. For whatever reason, he's chose to not. But it's a very clear statement of accuracy by Michael Bisping, which is win this one fight for the belt. So if that's going to be true, and it is, for your opponent, how could it possibly not be true for you? And you tell me because if he beats an aging Conor McGregor, he's 1-1 in his last 2, or he's 1-2 in his last 3. However you want to word it, we've already proven that Conor will get it. Not a maybe. Could have it right now. So whether we had a hard time accepting that or not, we still come to the final conclusion that it's so. Which means it has to be so for the opponent, or at least in the eyes of the media. That's all he's looking to do. All Chandler's looking to do is be one of the guys that comes out and declares this is the #1 contenders match. And the only guys he's going to have to compete with is another guy that has the same very simple idea, but has the courage to come out and speak it. Which, even though he's 7 months away from being in the ring with Conor, there might be nobody that does it. There might be no one. And one way to add the validity to the Conor is to just put it on it ahead of time. It's always a harder thing to do to say this is the title opportunity for that guy. It's a semifinal for him, not for both of them, for him. It's always a hard thing to do. So one way to look as though you weren't giving Conor favoritism is to just do it ahead of time. Hey, that fight, ooh, that one, right there, that's the one. Winner takes on Islam. Okay. And you see how things change, though. And you see that one simple thing. Chandler did a whole interview today, but he set that down. Took him 8 syllables. Took him 2.4 seconds. One simple thing, but it changed the interview. It needed to be in there. And it can't be refuted because we know it's going to be true for his opponent. It's a very smart thing, but everything Chandler does, every time he goes, and he knows when to be big and tough. He knows when to be exciting. He knows when to be fierce. But he also knows when to show you guys that he's having fun. And it's very unique. When you go through life and you meet the great carnies, the true workers, the salesmen of salesmen, the promoters of promoters, when you meet that person, a con man. And don't forget what con man means. People like to say con man is like this big insult. It's short for confidence. You're a confidence man. You're showing that you have confidence. Confidence is a good word. But the one thing that they'll all have in common, contrary to what your eyes and ears are telling you, is they don't have to make you believe that it's true. They have to make you believe that they believe that it's true.